Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
When it's all on the line, you turn to the strong, the stable, the unwavering, to those with a history of raising their performance to meet the moment. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies Checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy.
Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st, and you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Justin Timberlake.
I'm bringing sexy back.
The Forget Tomorrow World Tour. Live in Memphis. Justin Timberlake. FedEx Forum, Saturday, November 23rd. Get tickets now at livenation.com. The brand new single Selfish is available to stream and download now.
So if I get jealous, I can't help it.
For more, hit up justintimberlake.com.
Come pigeon with us, Roser. Roser, right here.
You get downward dog.
Yes,
Okay.
You're gonna go leg up,
I cannot.
Okay.
leg under.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, my bad. I thought that's what you were doing.
You go back.
Yeah, but then you sit. Oh, you're flexible.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt, live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Live from the Built Ford Tough studio at FedEx Forum, it's the Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Gary Parrish.
All right, I'm here. My name is Gary Parrish. I'm speaking to you from the Built Ford Tough studio, FedEx Forum, downtown Memphis. Bennett Doyle producing the program. Glad he's with me. Glad you're with me. Hope you're getting through the day best you can. And I hope you enjoyed the Zach Edey show last night in Indianapolis. Grizzlies, preseason game number 4. They went up to Indiana to take on the Pacers from the Eastern Conference. And Zach Edey, back in the state of Indiana, where he was a 2-time National Player of the Year, he looked very much like a 2-time National Player of the Year. He was cooking last night. We'll talk about it momentarily. First, though, quickly, let me set today's schedule for you. When we finish this open, normally, because it's Tuesday, I'll be talking to Chris Vernon from the Chris Vernon Show. You might have heard he's on vacation. Well-deserved vacation, I think. Well-deserved vacation. So Vernon's not going to be here. I wouldn't make him be here on his vacation. So Vernon's not going to be here. I'll use that second segment today to update you on a disturbing story that you probably saw go viral late Sunday, early Monday. We've got an update on it now, and it's not great for the guy in the video. I'll tell you all about it. We'll do that in about 20 minutes. When we finish that, we'll take a break, come back, do 5 more things you need to know, at which point we're going to discuss 5 previously undiscussed stories. Among them, the Hoops for St. Jude Tip-Off Classic is tonight inside FedEx Forum. The latest numbers, I think, are around 7,000 tickets have been distributed. So that's better than where we were a few days ago, but still not exactly where they stated they wanted to be.
I'm going to add 7,002.
Bennett says he's got 2.
Yeah, I just haven't gotten mine yet, but I'm going to add 2 to it.
Okay, 7,002 is the latest numbers now, according to Bennett. We'll get you ready for that in about 40 minutes. Game 2 of the NLCS was last night, and it went to the Mets. Mark Vientos with a home run. Better yet, grand slam after being disrespected by the Dodgers. I'll tell you what happened. Fun game. We'll celebrate. We'll do that a little later on in the show. Game 1 of the ALCS, that was last night as well in primetime. It went to the Yankees. Juan Soto homered for the Yankees. So did Giancarlo Stanton. Big win for the Bronx Bombers. We're a little closer to a possible Subway Series. We'll talk Yanks Guardians in just a bit. Bennett told you the Bills were going to handle business last night against the Jets. He was right. Aaron Rodgers had some interesting comments after the game, and he got him a new wide receiver this morning. It's his old pal, Devontae Adams. We'll discuss that a little later on in the show. And Utah quarterback Cam Rising is out for the season. The only thing I've ever heard about this guy is he's hurt. He might be able to come back and play next year. And if he does, do you know what year it will be for him in college?
What year?
8.
That's too much.
It feels like it's too much. I'm not here to like, I won't care if he does it. I promise I won't ever say another word about it after today. It seems crazy, though. At some point, you should probably just move on with your life. I'll give you the details on that situation during a segment we call 5 More Things You Need to Know. Then we'll eventually do GP's Carryout, and we'll call it a day. So that's the rundown. We got a lot to get to. But I did want to start with the NBA because your Memphis Grizzlies, they played Game 4 of a scheduled 5 preseason contest last night. It was at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Pacers were the opponent. Final score, Grizz 120, Pacers 116. So the Grizz are now 3-1 in the preseason with one more game to play. And Zach Edey last night turned in his best performance ever in a Grizzlies uniform. He took 15 shots, made 10 of them, finished with 23 points, 9 rebounds in just 19 minutes. 2-time player of the year, was cooking back in Indiana, where he, of course, starred at Purdue. Big Ben Bennett, Zach Edey, I know when maybe he doesn't have his best performance, we sit here across from each other and we say, hey, listen, we're not going to overreact every time, he can't overreact to every single game. And I still think that's probably the smart approach. But isn't it sometimes fun to overreact?
I like overreacting.
I like to overreact sometimes. Let's overreact a little bit.
Yeah, I like overreacting. I saw Caitlin Clark was in the crowd.
Of course. That's one National Player of the Year supporting another National Player of the Year.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. I had to listen on the radio.
Well, no, that's disrespectful to Eric. Let me tell you the other way to say that.
No, I didn't.
Let me tell you the other way to say that. Man, do you know how cool it was to listen to it on the radio last night?
No, it was great to listen to it on the radio. I couldn't watch it with my own eyes.
That's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine.
But I heard it all and saw
the
highlights and everything.
Lucky you because you were treated to Eric Hasseltine.
Yeah. Someone decided to do an upcharge on my cable bill.
And so you took a stand?
I'm taking a stand right now.
This is where you've decided to take a stand?
Yeah, so like maybe
I shouldn't get into it.
No, maybe I shouldn't get into
it. You're a man of the people.
Well, this feels wrong, okay?
So you tell me what happened, and I'll tell you if it's wrong or not.
My cable provider, when you remember there was like the little dispute going on
in the
offseason, and then they got the TV deal, and now the Grizz are back, and we're on Bally's all season and everything. Okay, well, then my cable provider decided, well, now that they're back, we're going to charge you an extra $40 a month to be able to watch.
And that's where you draw the line on whether
I was like, wait, because I just go to the channel last night, and it's like, this requires a subscription. I'm like, wait, hold on. I've always had this channel. Why? And I called them, and they were like, oh, yeah, this is moved up to the Ultimate TV tier. And I was like, okay, well, how much is the Ultimate TV tier?
Sure.
And they're like, it's going to cost you an extra $40 a month.
Let's identify this company. What company are we talking about?
It starts with an X.
I know that one.
Yeah, it starts with an X.
Sounds like Xfinity to me.
Yeah. But I'm just like, dude, what? I just need this one channel. This is why we need to get into the like a la carte
something
cable. Like that's how that we need to move into a different era, because
I don't know,
I just need the one channel. They're telling me I got to pay $40 a month for that channel. That's crazy.
I pay $3.50 a month for DirecTV, and I only watch about 5 channels.
That's what I'm saying. I'm already paying a fortune.
I have every channel on the planet except for the Pac-12 network. Never could get that for some reason. Besides that, I got every channel on the planet. Buddy, there ain't nothing on TV that I don't have access to. I watch 4 channels.
Yeah, man.
It's just this is the way the world works.
I just thought that was crazy. I was like, hold on, dude.
Bennett decided on October 14, 2024, he wanted to try to change the world. You can't change the world. It's the way the world works.
If you maybe we could $20. Like I need the channel. Like I need to be able to see the games. It's kind of my job.
That's what. I mean, I was starting to say
like I need to be able to see the games.
I can't have you in here every day talking about. I ain't never seen Zach Edey ever. I can't have you saying that every day.
But like, can we do like $10 to $20?
Are you negotiating right now with Xfinity on the Gary Parrish show?
For one channel seems crazy.
Is that what this has become?
Yeah, it's a little ridiculous.
Just a tool for Bennett to negotiate his cable bill. That's what the Gary Parrish show has become.
I'll figure it out.
I know you will. You always
do. Thank you to Eric for coming through.
Yeah, Eric will always be there for you.
Yes.
Until Eric will always be there for you.
Yep.
So just keep that in your back pocket. Okay, fine. I know you didn't see Zach Edey cook, but just trust me, he was cooking.
Yeah.
Overreact.
I mean, listen, dude. the guy was a 2-time National Player of the Year for
You're
a
damn
reason.
right.
Like,
You're damn right.
Yeah, like I know that like there's been guys where their game hasn't translated to the NBA game, big guys, and I think a lot of that has to do with their size. Well, Zach Edey doesn't have that problem. He's a skilled big man who has incredible size.
He makes big men look small.
Exactly. I mean, dude, he was cooking Miles Turner last night.
Miles Turner
had no chance.
Needed to tap out of that. If
He
I were
had to
Miles
tap
Turner,
out.
I would have tapped out of
And
that.
I like Miles Turner.
I
He's
like
like a
Miles
big
Turner,
Lego
too.
guy. I'm a big fan of his, but
we can like Miles Turner, but then we can take our appreciation for Miles Turner, set it over here for a second, and say, buddy, you got cooked by a 2-time National Player of the Year. You should have tapped out.
Yeah, you should have tapped out. No, man, he looked awesome last night. That I know that like everyone was stoked about it. I know we're overreacting, but dude, if he can be like that offensively for this team, it's a big deal.
Well, here's the thing. He won't have to be.
Right, he won't have to be.
But if he could be, in times where you might find it beneficial, that's great. You just like to be able to see him do that. Like he was putting big men on his back, making them look small, and then making plays. That's what you want to see him be able to do.
Sure.
I know the post up is a lost art and all that, but he can do that, and he showed it last night, not just against G League players or two-way players. Miles Turner was on that team, and Zach Edey was scoring on him. And keep in mind, don't ever forget this, because this is among the things that I think helped Zach end up going in the top 10 of the 2024 NBA draft when, let's just say, at no point in the season did anybody ever think that was a likely scenario, or at least nobody was saying that on television or putting it in a podcast or putting it in a mock draft. Maybe in front offices around the NBA, they were, but in terms of like the stuff you consume connected to the draft, really, even as Zach Edey was running away with a second straight National Player of the Year award, nobody was saying that's the 9th pick in the draft.
Yeah.
One of the things that I think helped him alleviate some concerns isn't that he just was a 2-time National Player of the Year and seemed like an unstoppable force against college bigs, given the way Purdue was playing. He went into the national championship game, and I know Purdue lost, got blown out. He cooked Donovan Clingan. Donovan Clingan could do nothing with him. I talked to Matt Piener in Chicago a couple weeks ago, Big Ten Media Day. And among the things I asked him, I said, when you look back on that, because sometimes you look back on things as coaches or players and you see them as missed opportunities, or you see them as, it's just that probably went the way it was going to go. For instance, John Calipari's got a whole bunch of missed opportunities connected to his career. Like if you could sit down and talk to John about last season's team, I bet you he would say, if he was being honest, he probably should have just committed to Reed Shepherd and Rob Dillingham being his backcourt and just figure it out. Because if NBA general managers thinks they're 2 top 10 picks and one of them, Shepherd, is the guy general managers now think is going to be the best player from this class, all players included, maybe we should have prioritized them, started them, and spent more time with them on the court, and then we maybe don't lose a first-round game to Oakland. Or you could talk to him about 2015 team. Hey, John, when you look back on that Final Four, what if you could do it over again, would you do it differently? And he'd have to say yes, because he was bringing Devin Booker off of his bench, and I don't think Devin Booker should ever be brought off of a bench in the sport of basketball.
No, that was
All
odd.
right?
Yeah.
My point being this, I talked to Matt Painter, and I sort of asked him a similar question. You think back to that national championship game. What stands out? Would you do anything differently? And he did not say this, but I think probably the way he feels is, at the end of the day, they had the better team. We had a great team. We had the second best team in the country, but they had the better team. That's what Dan Hurley would tell you. If you talk to Dan Hurley, you know what he would tell you? He would say this publicly. We were the best team in the country. They were the second best team in the country, but they're not us. They were great, but they're not us. We're the best team in the country, and that was always clear in my head. That's what Dan would tell you. I think Matt probably thinks that as well. Like, we could beat them. If we played them 10 times, we could beat them 3 or 4. We could get them, but they're better than us. I bet you that's what he thinks. What he said was, I really wouldn't do much different in that game in terms of strategy, approach, except I would have went to Zach Edey even more than we did. and we went to him a lot. I think he took 25 shots in that game. He said, I would have tried to get him 35 because they couldn't do anything with him. And when NBA people watched him not just do that to another college center, but do it to a center who people were talking about in that moment as a possible number 1 overall pick in the NBA draft, primarily because of the way he can guard other bigs, and you watch that guy not be able to guard Zach Edey, that helped Zach a lot. Because what you saw in that game is similar to what you saw last night. He doesn't just do this to the backup center at Minnesota or to the, a 6'10" big at Indiana State. He did this against Donovan Clingan. He can do this against Miles Turner. He can score on other NBA caliber defensive-minded bigs. He's already shown that. And last night was just a reminder of it. Again, don't want to overreact to every preseason game, but when you do watch something like that, it's encouraging.
Yeah, it definitely is.
And if you can't have fun with it and start to believe in some stuff, then what's even the point? Let me tell you the best thing about last night, though.
What was the best thing?
The best thing about last night is nobody landed awkwardly.
Man, you ain't kidding.
And had to walk off of a court and leave a game not to return. But that did happen with the Sixers. You saw Paul George.
Dude, yeah.
I mean, we're already here.
And Embiid's out for the whole preseason
They've already
yeah.
ruled him out. Now, that's totally precautionary.
I know it is, but he also isn't playing any back-to-backs this season, which I get that's precautionary too, but that gets in your head a little bit if you're a fan that has dealt with injuries with a certain player.
And this is the main point I wanted to make before we move on and start talking about other stuff.
Yep.
There's a couple of things connected to the preseason, specifically what happened with the Sixers last night, that I think highlight that we've got not problems, but just there's a better way to do this. And what the Sixers are telling us and showing us is evidence that there's got to be a better way to do this. They had already said Joel Embiid's not even playing in the preseason. Oh, is he too hurt to play? No, we ain't doing it. We're just not doing it. All right. Now, but then with their other star, they say he will play. So you can argue what's the right approach or the wrong approach, and both of them are evident in Philadelphia. Is the right approach in the preseason to be careful with your stars? Okay, that's what they're doing with Embiid. Or is the right approach in the preseason to just let your stars play? Well, that's what they were doing with Paul George. They were doing both things. I don't know what's right, what's wrong. I just know here's an example where they're doing both. And their worst nightmare with Embiid comes true with George. Now, I should say, all indications are it doesn't appear serious. Even Paul George after the game told the Philadelphia Inquirer, I think, if you ask me, I don't think it's a big deal. But I did feel something, and I knew I needed to get checked out. But I don't think it's a big deal. Fingers crossed for Philadelphia. I hope it's not a big deal, too. Right. But if you have franchises that are unwilling to put their stars on the court in the preseason, what that suggests is that the preseason isn't worth the trouble. Right? And when you watch stars go down in the preseason, and then you have franchises say, well, that's it for that. It happened with Ja here, with Paul George there, elsewhere around the NBA. Then what it highlights, again, is that maybe the preseason ain't what it's worth. Like, if we're doing it this way, we'd just rather sit it out than participate. That suggests there's a better way to do this. Cut it from 5 down to 3. Make it more regionalized in terms of less travel. Like, let's just play the Pelicans here one day, then go play the Pelicans down there and just keep it like – there's got to be a better way to do this. What happened in Philadelphia, what continues to happen in Philadelphia, was the latest reminder of that. The other thing, as you're reading about the Paul George injury from last night, it is noted in that story that Daryl Morey, who runs Philadelphia's franchise, is already on the record saying that this season, Paul George and Joel Embiid, his two stars and two of the biggest basketball stars in the world, are unlikely to play many back-to-backs and might actually play 0. Imagine this in any other sport. This is not something people talk about in any other sport.
Right.
We haven't even started the season, and the guy who runs one of the legitimate contenders in the league is saying, I'm in control of two of the best players in the world, and I'm already telling you they'll probably never play back-to-back. If we reach the point where franchises believe they've got players who cannot play back-to-back, that means we've reached the point where we shouldn't have back-to-backs.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if somebody asks Adam Silver about that next time he's in front of a microphone, because he's been pretty clear about, like, he wants these guys to play. He doesn't like this load management.
Well, you can keep saying that. He has been incredibly clear.
Yeah.
At some point, what you're saying doesn't matter.
Right. Like, will he find that if Joe Embiid sits the second night of a back-to-back and it's a national TV game, will they get fined?
Yeah, but, like, if I'm Philadelphia, I'm arguing.
Come on, dude.
We're the ones paying these people hundreds of millions of dollars.
Right.
These are our employees. They work under your umbrella, but they're our employees. Their direct deposits come from us, not you. Mm-hmm. And who are you to tell us how we should manage these situations? We have a medical. You're not a doctor. We have an entire staff of doctors. They are advising us how to do this. So how can you reasonably continue to penalize us for doing what we think's best? That's a never-ending debate. Mm-hmm. That conversation's been going on for years. At what point, I do this all the time in my own life. I'm tired of talking about the same stuff every day. Let's figure out how to never talk about this again. How long are we going to keep talking about load management and whether people should play back-to-backs? Nothing changes.
Right.
We're heading into another season, and a guy running the Philadelphia 76ers has already on the record said you'll probably never see Joel Embiid and Paul George play both games in a back-to-back. So once that's dug in, it's up to the NBA to change. I think at that point you have to say, if we're really going to lose some of our biggest stars because their front offices are not going to allow them to play in back-to-backs, even if you think that's the dumbest thing in the world, the next step's got to be we got to get rid of the back-to-backs then. Mm-hmm. I promise you, if NFL franchises, think about this. If NFL franchises started telling with their actions, so started showing the league and the world and everybody else that we now have data that tells us quarterbacks, I'm just making something up, quarterbacks, it's not smart, healthy, safe for them to play every Sunday. You need more time than that in between games. What our health officials are, again, I'm making something up. Mm-hmm. What our health officials are telling us is that we're just not going to play our quarterback every Sunday. He needs more time than that. So we'll just have to play him every other week. If that was actually the opinion of medical professionals working with NFL franchises, and the NFL franchises started really, here's Patrick Mahomes in week 1, but he can't play week 2 because that's 2 games inside of 8 days, and we're not doing that. Do you think the NFL would just keep saying, well, we'll fine them then? You know what somebody would say at some point? We can't afford to not have Patrick Mahomes on the field as often as possible, and if they're not going to put him out there relative to the schedule we're creating, we've got to create different schedules. This is not a problem anywhere else. Mm-hmm. In the NBA, though, it is a never going away problem. And that Philadelphia franchise is, on some level, the face of it. They've already pulled one star from the preseason. Now it looks like they probably should have pulled their other one. And they're already announcing to the world, yeah, we got back-to-back here, back-to-back here, back-to-back here, back-to-back here. We ain't playing them. That's not ideal. Mm-mm. I don't know the perfect solution. I have some ideas. I don't know the perfect solution. Here's what I know. The way you're doing it isn't working the way it needs to work. And whether you're running a basketball league or literally anything else in life, if the way you're doing it isn't working, you should probably try to change it.
Yep.
We come back. Disturbing story from the weekend after a Ravens-Commanders game. You probably saw this clip. Bennett, I know how much you like street fights.
Oh, we're going to talk about that.
Because we now have more information than we had this time yesterday. The criminal has been identified. He's already lost his job.
Yeah.
And now could really face 8 years in federal prison. Because what? You got drunk and wanted to punch people who were wearing a different jersey than you? It's just an absolute banana story. We'll show you the clip in a second, and then I'll share some thoughts on it. It's the Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South.
Is Ja Morant the player in the NBA with the most approved going into this season?
Ja Morant is one of the best players in the world. He's one of the best players in the world.
On the court, there is no question, barring injury, that what Ja Morant is.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizz Beat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
What do you think about this matchup against the Pirates and the Bison?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is who in the hell put Gus Johnson as the notable alumni selection when we got Kamala Harris right now that's more relevant? It's 28 people I would have named before I would have got the Gus Johnson.
My assumption is, Mike, Hampton will find a way to come up again.
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
We got to talk about the best wrestling that we watched all week. You're up.
I think Brunson Reed and Braun Strowman put on a 5-star match in 60 seconds. I've never seen it happen before. Brunson Reed chunks a fan at Braun. I'm like, where the hell did that dude come from?
I got a tweet saying it's a good thing they're not in Memphis, or else that would have been one of the Memphis wrestling guys getting hurled.
Exactly.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back, Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South. We're inside the Built Ford Tough studio. So, on Sunday, the Ravens and Commanders played a professional football game. They did it in Baltimore. Baltimore won the game 30-23, whatever. After the game, there was an incident between Ravens fans, a Raven fan, and a couple of Commanders fans. By now, I mean, it went viral. I think most people have seen it. But if not, let me show it to you with the volume down, because I think there's some words that we probably don't need said. But you'll get the gist of it. You'll see what was going on. It's a Ravens fan, rather large fella, walking down the street, clearly just looking for somebody to assault. He sees some Commanders fans in Commanders jerseys and decides, these are the people I'm going to try to fist fight now. Here's what happened.
Yeah. And a Lamar jersey, too. Come on, man. Lamar wouldn't want this.
Lamar Jackson would not want this. He landed that one, though.
That dude got out of it, kind of.
Make it. He yells there, I don't lose, which is a wild thing to yell, because since then he's been doing nothing but losing.
Yeah, he's taking a massive L.
First his job. This is a real guy, like with a real job and like a real profile picture and stuff. His name's Jack Callis, reportedly, and he's a producer and sales executive in the Castendike Insurance Group of Maury, Donnelly, and Parr. Maury, Donnelly, and Parr has announced on social media he no longer is employed. They have a zero tolerance policy for these types of actions. So he's quite literally lost his job over that, and is now facing, like, he should be charged with felony assault. That's what the law enforcement officials on social media are telling me, at least. And if he faces felony assault, he could.
I always listen to them.
I do too.
Yeah,
I do too. I don't know if they know everything, but I assume they know more than me.
Sure.
Could 8 years in prison. 8 years, lose your job and 8 years in prison.
Come on, man.
Over what? For what?
to go viral.
Those fans in those Commanders jerseys, by all accounts, were doing nothing.
Right.
They were doing.
He just pointed him out because of the jersey.
Okay. The reason this resonated with me is because that could have been me. Every summer, one of the things we do as a family, every summer, I like to take my wife and my boys to a new baseball stadium to see the Mets. So we've been to, we've been to, and it's an awesome experience every time. We were just in Arlington, Texas this summer. We went to Globe Life Field. We saw the Mets and the Rangers. We all wore, my little guy's in a DeGrom jersey. My other guy's in an Alonso jersey. I'm in a Mets shirt. My wife's in a Mets hat. It was a great experience. I can't overstate this. Almost always, almost everybody is the coolest you could be. But then there's people like this.
Oh, they're out there.
And it's happening more in the NFL than anywhere else. And it's happening in the NFL every weekend.
Every single weekend.
And it's
like I won't take my kids to an NFL game until they're older.
Well, here's the thing. We were just talking about NBA problems.
Yeah.
This is an NFL problem.
Oh, yeah.
If we reach the point where you won't take your boys to an NFL game, that's an NFL problem. That's a problem.
Like I really would not until every NFL game I've ever been to. I've seen fights. I'm not some square. I'm just saying, like, I don't want my 6-year-old to see that. My 5-year-old to see that.
The thing that makes this different than most of the things we see at sporting events and most of the things you've seen in person is that the fight you see in the stands between two idiots in jerseys yapping about whose football team is better. I watch those fights, and then I go, well, that wouldn't be me. Because I wouldn't engage in that.
Right. I got you.
You know, like you're not going to make me want to fight you by saying, I think the Mets suck. I'll just probably say, yeah, they usually do. They usually do. I hear where you're coming from.
Yeah.
That can't be me because I won't engage that. I'm not going to get into it. You couldn't argue with me and make me want to fight you. Like, I'm saying nobody on the planet. I'm the least likely person to ever get into a fist fight because I just have no interest in it, and you can't really say anything to me that would make me want to fight you. I don't care enough. So when I watch those, it's two guys or two girls. You see two girls all the time too. Girls love to fight too.
Oh yeah.
And they're just fighting in the stands. I go, that's crazy, but that wouldn't be me. Because if somebody yelled at me, I wouldn't yell back. It wouldn't unfold that way. That one, the one we just watched, that could be me. Because you know what I would do after a game?
Walk around in your jersey.
Walk down the street.
Right.
That's all they were doing. They were just walking down the street. It's like a gang war.
This dude.
Like I don't pretend to be an expert on gang wars, but what I gather from, watching documentaries and stuff, what I gather is that people have been killed simply for wearing the wrong color in the wrong place. I think that's the thing that happens somewhere.
I think you're right.
I think I heard about that before. How is that any different than what you just watched in that video? These two people were merely wearing the wrong colors around this guy, and he attacked them violently. That's all they were doing. They weren't like, go Commanders, Lamar Jackson sucks. They seemed to just be walking to a restaurant or from a restaurant or whatever. They weren't doing anything, and they still got attacked. That could be me. That's crazy. And if we've reached a point where I would have real doubt, I don't have a favorite NFL team, so I don't have any desire to go to an NFL game. But my kids would like to go see Patrick Mahomes. They verbalize that to me. Can we go to a Kansas City Chiefs game? And I will take them sometime. But I will also be aware we're at risk of that on some level. And this was an extreme example. But that did happen. That happened this weekend in the United States of America. People, tens of thousands, went to a football game. And afterwards, two people got violently attacked by a large man in a football jersey for doing nothing other than walking down the street in those opposing football jerseys. That's bananas.
That's wild, dude. That's wild. Yeah.
And I don't feel bad for this guy because how could you watch that video and feel bad for that guy? He seems like the worst person on the planet. But he screwed his whole life up. He has wrecked his life.
Too bad. So sad.
Too bad. So sad.
Yeah.
Too bad. So sad.
Don't go around randomly punching people.
Don't.
Dude.
That's good advice. That's good advice for anybody.
Yeah.
That's good advice for anybody. Don't go around randomly punching people. Good advice for anybody.
I thought this was going to be the Kanye story. That's what I was preparing myself for.
Ooh, no,
yeah. Okay.
I don't even know what I can say about that.
I don't think you should say that one.
I don't even know.
It's out there though.
Yeah, I don't even.
He's saying wild even for Kanye.
Even for
Kanye, it is wild.
He said he wanted to sleep with his wife's mom.
While she watched.
That's
insane.
People are into whatever they're into.
People are into whatever they're into. That's insane to just say out loud to your wife.
Yeah, that's not the type of thing I'm into.
That's just insane.
People are into
allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
Allegedly.
It's a wild thing to propose.
It was on page 6.
How do you even talk to your wife about that?
I don't know how you build up the courage.
How do you think you could go home and ask? Do you think I dare you to go home and tell your beautiful wife that you would like to sleep with her?
No.
Is your mother-in-law still with us?
She is. Yes.
Would you hit?
No, shut up. That's just, come on, man. That is so out of bounds. Now I regret even saying it.
You brought it up.
That's the thing. Is the reason that I thought for a second about not bringing it up is because I knew you were going to do that.
I wanted to. How do you even get the courage to say to your wife, I would like to sleep with your mother and I would like for you to watch? How do you?
And Bianca's done, right? Like it
I
looks
don't
like
know.
they're having problems now. But is this the first sign?
I don't know. It's none of my business. I don't think. I am not as offended by the question as much as I am fascinated. How do you get to a point where you're comfortable enough to say that to another person?
I know.
That's what I want to understand.
But he says whatever he wants.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah,
all the time.
That's Kanye.
Hey man, I guess so. Woo!
Ooh, man.
I just want to. I would have loved to have just been there for the conversation.
Me too.
I just wish we had a video.
How did that
of
go
it.
down?
I want to just see how that go. I don't really care if that's what everybody's into and they're all consenting adults. It's fine with me. What do I care?
Mm-hmm.
I am interested in how do you get to the point in a relationship where you can even ask that of somebody.
Yeah.
I've just never been that comfortable. Have you ever been that comfortable?
No.
I've never been that comfortable. I've been pretty comfortable, but not that comfortable.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. We come back, turn our attention back to basketball. Hoops for St. Jude Tip-Off Classic is tonight inside FedEx Forum. Dawn Staley and the South Carolina women are here. Hubert Davis and the North Carolina men are here. We'll get you ready for it next. Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South.
Congratulations to the Vanderbilt Commodores. They have actually hit the over on their win total for the season. Winning number 3. Their total was 2.5.
Hey, listen. If I had told you Vanderbilt was going to hit the over on their win total against Alabama, you guys would have kicked me off the show.
Crazy. Absolutely insane.
I tried to argue that they were going to be bowl eligible.
I said that was good. And they still might not be.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
What do you think about this matchup against the Pirates and the Bison?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is who in the hell put Gus Johnson as the notable alumni selection when we got Kamala Harris right now that's more relevant? It's 28 people I would have named before I would have got the Gus Johnson.
My assumption is, Mike, Hampton will find a way to come up again.
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
When it's all on the line, you turn to the strong, the stable, the unwavering. To those with a history of raising their performance to meet the moment. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st. And you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Justin Timberlake.
I'm bringing sexy back.
The Forget Tomorrow World Tour. live in Memphis. Justin Timberlake. FedEx Forum, Saturday, November 23rd. Get tickets now at LiveNation.com. The brand new single Selfish is available to stream and download now.
If I get jealous, I can't help it.
For more, hit up JustinTimberlake.com.
Orthopedic injuries can be unpredictable, unforeseen, and unscheduled, and Ortho South understands this better than anyone. Since your injuries don't make appointments, you don't need to either. That's because Ortho South welcomes walk-ins during the weekdays, in the evenings, and even on Saturdays. So next time an unforeseen injury makes an unscheduled appearance in your life, visit orthosouth.org to find your nearest urgent care location. Just walk in, and Ortho South will take care of everything, especially you. Learn more at orthosouth.org. That's orthosouth at orthosouth.org. Now I got 5 more things you need to know.
Number 1.
Hoops for St. Jude Tip-Off Classic is scheduled for tonight inside FedEx Forum. Game 1, the Memphis men will take on the North Carolina men. That's 6 o'clock, and if you can't get in the building, you'll be able to see it on ESPNU. After that, around 8:30, Memphis women, South Carolina women, those are your reigning national champions, coached by the GOAT, Dawn Staley. Around 8:30 is the scheduled tip, streaming on ESPN+. And the latest information is that about 7,000 tickets have been distributed. Bennett has made it 7,002. You're doing your part.
I'm doing my part.
You're doing your part. Okay, let's talk through this because I've just been sitting back, kind of being quiet.
Okay.
Kind of just watching it unfold. I didn't feel like I needed to get involved. I've been distracted by baseball rather. But I see people going back and forth a little bit about what should you do now, because it's. If you were, I remember when this got announced, there were people who said, man, that should be a sellout. And we now know
it will not be.
Not even close. It's not even close. So one argument is we know it's not going to be a sellout. We know it's not going to be a sellout maybe by 10,000 seats. Just throw them in the air, the tickets. Let anybody who wants to come. Let's put people in the building. Let's just make it look the right way and feel the right way, even if we didn't sell as many tickets as we would have hoped, right? That's one argument. The counter argument would be, Bennett Doyle paid $200 for his tickets, and we're not going to just let people come in for free after Bennett Doyle just paid $200 for his tickets. Where do you land on that argument?
I land towards that. I don't really care about that. If they wanted to give out free tickets and pack the place out, I would be totally cool with that. I wouldn't be.
That's awful mature.
Like, come on, man. I would have just waited. It doesn't matter. I know, because I know, again, with the whole St. Jude tie-in, I know that like the money that I'm spending is going to a greater good.
It's a donation to St. Jude.
Yeah,
that's what you did.
Yeah,
I'm with you. I think that's the approach I would take. There would be people who would be mad about it. You'd see them. You'd see them. They would. They'd tweet about it, Facebook about it. I would just tell them, relax. We want this thing to feel like a big deal, and we know that as of 10:43 on October 15th, we know the only way this is going to feel like a big deal is if we just tell people, please come down and fill it up. It won't cost you a penny. That's the only way you can now make this feel the way you wanted it to feel when you imagined it. There's no, well, let's keep promoting. It's over with. We've done everything we can do.
Right.
There's going to be 7,000 people in there, roughly, at best tonight, unless you do something about it. So the question becomes, are you just comfortable with that, the 7,000? Because then it's not going to look the way you want it to look. It's not going to feel the way you want it to feel. Or do you do something about it? And you're saying you would do something about it.
Yes.
And you're also saying as a paying customer, you would not be offended.
No.
I'm with you. That's it. And if somebody came to me and said, GP, I spent $500 on tickets, and you don't think I should be upset to watch another family spend nothing and get to sit, 7 rows above me? And here's what I would say. I would say, if you are fortunate enough to have been able to randomly spend $500 on tickets to something that you didn't even know was going to happen 2 months ago, then just relax.
Yeah.
And be appreciative that you're fortunate enough to donate that money to St. Jude. And if some other people who are less fortunate or who otherwise wouldn't have been in the building for whatever reason are getting to come down and have a similar experience to you without making that donation, well then, you know what? Everybody will live.
Yeah, I think so too. I hope that, maybe they get an influx of walk-ups tonight. I have seen a lot of people going up to the box office the past couple days. So hopefully they get some walk-ups tonight and it looks, a little fuller than 7,000. That's what I'm hoping for.
That's what I'm hoping for too. First game starts at 6. That's the Memphis men and the North Carolina men.
Number 2.
Game 2, NLCS, yesterday afternoon at Dodger Stadium. Oh, buddy, it got away from the Dodgers pretty quickly.
It did.
Leadoff home run from Francisco Lindor to put the visitors up 1-0 in the first. And then, let me set the scene for you, because the Mets put a 5-spot up in the second, highlighted by a grand slam from Mark Vientos. Those are awesome no matter what, especially awesome under these circumstances. If you weren't watching the game, you wouldn't know. And even if you were watching the game, you might not care. But it's an interesting little subplot. So at that point, the Mets have second. At some point in the second inning, they have runners on second and third. First base is open. There's one out. Francisco Alvarez is at the plate.
Okay.
They pitch to him. They pitch to him, and they get him to pop out to short. 2 outs. Here comes Francisco Lindor, who had just homered in the first. They decide to intentionally walk him, which makes total sense. He's probably going to finish second in MVP to Shohei Ohtani. He just homered in the first. He's been hot for weeks. I understand walking. First base is open. Let's put him on. So they do it. Sensible. But if you're Mark Vientos, do you feel disrespected?
Hell yeah.
Because here's what they're saying. We would rather load the bases and pitch to you than pitch to him with only 2 men on. We would rather make this worse, where if something bad happens, more runs score, where we don't have first base open to maybe deal with a walk. We would rather complicate this situation and pitch to you than have to face this guy again. So you get on down to first base. We'll take our chances with you, you bum. That's what they told him. Look what happened.
Cracked to right center field. Pajes on the move to the track. He couldn't find it. That's because it's over the wall. Grand slam, Vientos.
Wow. Okay, I just saw that Grad's his 3rd home run in the postseason.
He's been hot too.
That's why that was a stupid decision. You're not throwing it to some bum.
Well, that's the thing. That's the way they made him feel. You're not pitching to some bum. He's been great. I don't think it's a wrong decision. Like, if I would have been running the Dodgers then, I would have said, we're not pitching to Lindor with first base open. I would have sent him down there, and I would have taken my chances with Vientos. I would have. I think they made the right baseball decision. Vientos just made him pay for it. But, buddy, what feels better than that, you think? Because this is what they're telling you. Just like I said, they have made a decision. Sensible as it might be, they have made a decision that they would rather put a man on, load up the bases, eliminate the room for a walk without bringing in a run. They'd rather complicate the entire situation and possibly make it worse and pitch to you. We'd rather pitch to you than pitch to him. Think about how that would make you feel. Think about how that would make you feel. Think about how if you were watching your kids. You see this in little baseball every once in a while. Like, hey, walk the little 10-year-old. And the 10-year-olds, even 10-year-olds can feel that.
Yep.
They know what's happening. If you're Mark Vientos, even if it's the smart baseball decision, don't you feel disrespected?
Yeah, I think so.
I do. Then you make them pay. He talked about it after the game, post-game interview. He was like, of course, that motivates. How does that not motivate you? Like, I would walk. Both things can be true. If I were them, I would also walk Francisco Lindor to pitch to me. But when they did it, I did take offense to it. And now I have to make them pay. And now the series is tied 1-1, headed back to Citi Field. It's now a best-of-5.
Yeah,
and the Mets have home field advantage, but the Dodgers are still favored -155 to advance to the World Series. That's what's disrespectful.
Yeah. Dodgers still favored. Okay. I might have to hop on that.
That's what's still disrespectful.
That is disrespectful.
Mets have home field advantage. The Dodgers' entire rotation is injured. I should rephrase, it's not just the Mets. It's the red-hot Mets.
Yeah.
Best team in baseball since June. Home field advantage from this point forward. And you're making them an underdog? The Dodgers at minus 155? That's disrespect. That's more disrespectful than pitching around Lindor to get to Vientos.
Yeah,
There's a lot of disrespect going on. There's a lot of disrespect going on.
All right, well, I'm rooting for you guys.
Thank you. Somebody's going to have to reap what they sow.
When's Game 3? Tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Okay.
Tomorrow. Game 3, Citi Field should be popping.
Number 2.
Yankees, 1 Game 1 of the ALCS. Juan Soto.
Oh, my bad. That was
homered.
number 3.
Giancarlo. What did you say, Bennett?
I'd accidentally hit number 2.
That's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's fine.
I'm tired.
What are you so tired about?
I went to the movies last night.
Again?
Yeah.
What did you go see this time?
Went and saw Terrifier 3, starring Art the Clown.
What the fuck? None of that even sounds real.
Yeah, and it's the number 1 movie in America.
Nothing you just said sounds real to me.
It's a box office darling. It's a Cinderella story.
Terrifying?
Yeah, it's the number 1 movie.
3.
Terrifier.
Terrifier 3.
3.
There's 2 Terrifiers previously.
Yes.
Where have I been?
It's like this has gone from like a kind of cult horror movie to again the number 1 movie at the box office.
So what time did you go to this movie last night?
10 p.m.
That's a wild thing to do.
It was a 2-hour movie
on a Monday.
Yeah.
What are you?
I just like
And you went by yourself?
I went by myself.
Did you get a little soda? Did you get you some soda?
I did not get a soda, but I did have a bev. The theater was packed.
Huh.
Packed.
What?
Yeah, man.
Sometimes I feel like you're living on a different planet than me.
Well, here's the thing is like my family, like they all go to bed like around, 9:30. They all like to go to bed early. And I'm wired differently. Like I got to stay up. And so like what better time to go to a movie by yourself than when everybody's asleep? And my wife, she's awesome. And she was like, yeah, go ahead. Just leave me alone.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not going to judge you. I just don't even.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're carving out time to do these things, and I don't even know that these things exist.
Yeah. You want a review?
Yeah.
It's one of the more disturbing movies I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I did see, multiple people walked out.
What?
Yep, multiple, and I'm not lying.
What could you see that would make you walk out?
Oh, the first 5 minutes, you'll be able to tell if you can handle that movie or not.
I can handle anything. I watch murders every day.
I
watch murders every day.
Okay, but you see murder, but like I'm talking about murder.
I'll watch a murder right now.
I'm talking about murders in crystal clear HD that are happening very slow and like the camera's like right here on it.
I'll watch it right now. Send me a clip.
I don't know if you could handle the Terrifier movies.
I did have this thought a minute ago. Why is it that I'm very comfortable now? I've been desensitized to murders. I'm not exaggerating. I watch murders every day.
Yeah.
On Twitter, I watch homicides every day. And I can watch them. I don't even blink. I watch people just walk up to other people and pop right in their head. And I just go, okay, wow, that was wild. And I just go in and I just like, go get a bowl of cereal or something. But when that fella for the Detroit Lions got hurt the other day, I couldn't watch that.
Oh, Aiden Hutchinson.
I still to this point
that video's messed up.
I haven't seen it to this point. I can't bring myself to watch it. Dude, but I watch 50 murders a day.
When you watch the replay, not like the replay where they like have like the close up of it in slow motion. I'm talking about just the replay of that actual play, like any play you would see on an NFL broadcast. You can hear it snap. It's crazy.
Okay, did you just see?
Yeah.
You just saying that made me cringe.
Yeah.
I watch help me understand this. Why can I watch murders, but I can't watch a man break his leg?
Why can I watch Art the Clown saw someone's leg off, and I can't listen to Aiden Hutchinson's leg snap in real life?
Yeah, this is weird.
Yeah. I don't get it.
I don't understand it either.
I don't understand.
I've reached a point where I am more comfortable seeing a gang hit than I am watching a man break his leg in a football game.
It is a weird deal. I don't understand that either.
I don't like. I could if you said
we're not desensitized because we're clearly sensitive to some bad things.
I just don't understand how it happened. How I got to a point where I could. If you sent me a video and you said, GP, I just saw The Best Murder. This is a really good one. I would click on it immediately. But if you sent me that football injury and said, GP, I don't know if you saw this angle. I would not click on it because I can't stand to look at it.
Well, and I've told you this before, I think, on the show. There's an episode where Anthony Bourdain went to Mexico. Okay, I think Tijuana, and one of the obviously a lot of drug cartels, a lot of murders. Okay, and he's with this journalist, and they're looking through just all the photojournalist, and they're looking through all of these images that he's taken over the years of people that have been murdered, right? Brutally murdered, right? And then he gets to one image of an elephant dead on the side of the highway. It like fell off of, they were moving it, and it fell off the truck and died. And he said that image has gotten thousands and thousands and thousands of more views than any of these other images. And he was like, why do you think that is? And he was like, because people just think that's sad. They're used to seeing this stuff. Like they've seen they see these murder pictures every day. It's in their paper every single day, but they see this picture of this elephant dead on the side of the highway, and it makes them sad.
What a wild
Isn't
thing.
that crazy?
What's happening to us? What do you think's happening to us?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Something
though, for sure. Anyway, the Yankees won.
Yeah, the Yankees.
Game 1 of the ALCS. Juan Soto homer. Giancarlo Stanton homered. The Soto homer comes off of Alex Cobb. Interesting little. Tell me how you'd handle this if you're the Guardians going forward. So they start Alex Cobb in Game 1 of the ALCS. Big deal, right? You're at Yankee Stadium, Game 1 of the ALCS. Who you going with? Alex Cobb. Okay. Entering the game, Juan Soto was 7 for 11 with 2 homers in his career against Alex Cobb.
Okay.
Comes up in the first, single. Now he's 8 for 12. Comes up again, next at bat, homer. Now he's 9 for 13 in his career with 3 bombs against this guy. What do you do going forward? His spot's coming back up.
Yeah.
If this series extends. Can you run him back out there knowing he can't get Juan Soto out?
Yeah, what inning were we in here?
I mean, it was
it was later.
No, the homer, I believe the homer came in the third.
Oh, it came in the third. Okay.
Yeah. So what do you do? On one hand, you go, all right, listen, small sample size, whatever. We're just going to keep going at him. We're going to battle. We'll battle. On the other hand, you go, this guy can't get this guy out. He's killing him. All right? Okay, let's just pitch around him then. You know what pitching around Juan Soto means? Pitching to Aaron Judge with Juan Soto on base.
Next. Yeah, that's a tough spot.
So you can't pitch around Juan Soto because pitching around Juan Soto just means putting Juan Soto on base for Aaron Judge. That's dumb.
Yeah.
I think you just got to keep fighting and hope that you figure it out.
I think so, too.
But that's in your head every time now. That guy steps into the box and you go, this dude murders me. That'll get in your head.
Yeah, it definitely will.
Interesting situation. Yankees up now 1-0 heading into tonight's Game 2 of the ALCS. It is also in Yankee Stadium. So now let's put some numbers on it.
Okay.
3 Mets wins away and 3 Yankees wins away from having a Subway Series in New York City.
When was the last time that happened?
2000.
2000.
Yep.
Okay. Feels like it's about that time again then. I'm rooting for it. I want that.
Need 3 more D's and 3 more D's.
I definitely want to see that.
Subway Series.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That's what God. I think that's what God wants.
It is what God wants.
Number 4.
Bennett told you yesterday the Bills were going to handle business at MetLife, and they went and they did it. Final score 23-20. Aaron Rodgers was upset after the game. Do we have the clip of Aaron Rodgers talking after the game? Here's Aaron Rodgers after the game.
Talk a little bit about the penalties tonight.
Yeah, it seemed a little ridiculous. Some of them seemed really bad, including the roughing the passer on me. That's not roughing the passer. Might as well play sarcastic ball if we're going to call those things. And I thought the one on Kinlaw was not roughing the passer either.
He was talking.
What is sarcastic ball?
Oh, man, you're going to have to Google that on your own. Okay. So everybody seems upset with the officiating, right? Too many flags, too many penalties.
Yeah.
And what Aaron Rodgers is saying there is like, I'm not just saying we got a bad whistle. Remember when they called roughing the passer on them against me?
Dude, that was one of the worst calls.
That's not roughing the passer. I'm the guy who benefits from that flag, and I'm telling you that's a bullshit flag.
Troy Aikman sounded like he wanted to throw up after that flag. Yeah.
Like it's a weird balance they have of trying to protect the quarterbacks and like playing football.
There's the thing with that one is, okay, so the rule is you can't come down. Like they're saying you cannot come down with your full body weight on top of the quarterback. Okay, understood. I think there's got to be, they've got to be able to make a decision there that's not, black and white, because yeah, he technically came down on him with his full body weight. He's not like trying to crush him. He literally, like, the guy he's falling. You know what I mean? When he tackles Rodgers, when he sacked Rodgers. Like, it's not, what they're saying, that's not actually what happened.
When we've reached the point where the people who are benefiting from your flags are saying out loud that was still a horrific call, you got a problem. It needs to be addressed. Aaron Rodgers also talked about just giving the game away. And I thought these are the types of comments you can only make probably when you're Aaron Rodgers. I still don't know if you can make them if you're Aaron Rodgers as it pertains to your locker room and your coaching staff and, if you can keep everybody on the same page. But it is a guy like Aaron Rodgers who could say these things, because a younger quarterback or a less accomplished quarterback would have to say things like, you win as a team, you lose as a team. Right. There's a lot of different aspects of the game, and, I've got to be better and I've got to do my job. And he just said like a lot of stuff opposite that. He was more like, we're moving the ball. We're moving the ball up and down the field. We're making plays. Then we missed 2 field goals. We don't miss 2 field goals. I mean, field goals are worth 3, right?
Yeah.
They beat us by 3. We missed 2 field goals. 20 plus 3 is 23. 23 plus 3 is 26. 26 more than 20. Like, why are we 2-4? Honestly, we missed 2 field goals.
Yeah. I think they're going to cut their kicker. He's been bad. So is the Bills kicker. They
when the quarterback comes out again, like that was the nicest way possible for Aaron Rodgers to say,
get rid of this dude.
This dude cost us a game.
Yeah.
All right. This dude, like, why are you 2-4? We don't have to do 15 minutes on it on Get Up tomorrow morning with Stephen A. Smith. Why are you 2-4? Because our kicker missed 2 kicks.
Yeah.
Otherwise we would have won this game, and you'd be asking me completely different questions.
Because Rodgers had a nice game. Like, I mean, I know there was
he's not why they lost.
No, the interception was bad. It was still 3rd and 16. Like it was bad, but he had 200-yard receivers in that game. Like, he was throwing the ball well. So I think they got a chance to turn it around. I do. I don't think that thing's done completely.
Devontae Adams make a difference?
Yes. I mean, he's one of the best receivers in the NFL. Right. Like, he still is one of the best receivers in the NFL. And they got chemistry.
And that's the thing. It's not only that he's extremely talented, it's that those guys are friends.
Yeah, you don't have to work through.
They don't have to know each other, figure anything out, understand each other. Like, they understand each other. They actually like each other.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how many people in this world Aaron Rodgers actually enjoys, but he seems to enjoy Devontae Adams. And Devontae Adams seems to enjoy him. And I do think it helps. And I think it's worth doing. I think it's a conditional 3rd-round pick they had to give up or something. It's worth doing just because this is always my argument with LeBron James and the Lakers. Worry about the post-LeBron James thing when LeBron's no longer there. Up until that point, do everything you can to maximize the time LeBron James is still in uniform and operating at this level. So give away all the draft picks for veteran. Whatever you got to do it to be able to honestly look in the mirror and say, I did everything I could reasonably do to set that man up for success.
Yeah.
That's what I would be doing if I'm the Jets right now too. Like, it might not work the way you want it to work, but I'm going to be able to look not only myself, but Aaron Rodgers in the mirror as well and say, we're doing everything we can do to help you.
Yeah.
I know one of your complaints in Green Bay was they never did anything to help you. Like, quite literally would not spend a 1st-round pick on an offensive weapon ever. And I know that aggravated you. We've just watched you get off to a 2-4 start, and we're not saying, pointing the finger at you. We're saying, we'll go get you help. We're trying. We'll go get your best friend, who also happens to be one of the best receivers in the world. We're giving you everything we can give you. We're doing everything we can do. That's the right approach. I don't know if it'll work, but this is what they should be doing.
Yep.
Number 5.
Cam Rising. Utah announced last night that he is done for the season once again, and that any decisions about his future as a college quarterback will be determined at a later date, but they did leave open the possibility that he could return next year And if he were to return next year, he would be an 8th-year player who is 26 years old.
I'm not sure.
What do we think about this?
So, on the one hand, like when you just say a 26-year-old college football player, I'm just like, whoa, that's pretty old. On the other hand, like in the NIL era, and this is pro sports, like. Yeah. I don't know.
And I guess if you're just out there, if you actually have degrees to pursue, like the one argument, the most basic argument would just be, it's time to just get on with it. All right? Just, man, get on with your life. You've been walking around a college campus too long. All right? And I think that's understandable. The other argument would be, they're paying you to do this.
Right.
You're getting an amazing education. You're going to have 70,000 degrees. A bachelor's, a master's, another master's. Like he's in school.
Yeah.
They're paying for you to be in school. You were getting educated. You were stacking degrees on top of each other, and they're going to also pay you like a salary to play quarterback. And you probably can't get a salary to play quarterback anywhere better than you can than at Utah. So why wouldn't you take advantage of every second you have to possibly play there?
Yeah, I mean, if you, and especially if you don't think you're a guy that projects as an NFL quarterback,
right.
Like this is how you make your money.
This is how you make your money, and you should. And it would be crazy. It's not crazy to go to college for an 8th year. It's crazy to walk away from the amount of money you'll be able to make by going to college for an 8th year. I think that's where I land on it. I think it's kind of weird to just keep going back to college over and over and over again, unless you're, going to be a doctor or something.
Yeah.
It's not what I would want to do, I don't think. I couldn't wait to get out of college.
Yeah.
But it is a way that he will make a living, and it is probably the best way he can make the best living next year. And it will also probably be his last opportunity to ever play in meaningful football games.
Yeah.
And, I remember what it was like when I realized I'll never play in a meaningful baseball game again. And I wasn't, I was just a high school baseball player. I wasn't even any good. But I just remember, like, you have that, I've been doing this my whole life, and I'll never do this again now. It's a weird thing to feel. Like, you've been playing something your whole life, and you just know, I'll never play this again now. It's just over. Why? If somebody would said, hey, you can play one more year of high school baseball, I might have wanted to do that.
Yeah.
So, like, I think if I were Cam Rising, I'd want to maybe just get on with my life, but I'm understanding of the counter argument of, hey, if it's an 8th year or an 11th year or a 17th year, if they're going to allow you to do it and you want to do it, and it is the place where you can make the most money to do anything, why not? I wish him luck.
Yeah, I wish him
health.
luck.
I wish him good health more than anything.
And look, he'll probably get the DeAndre Williams treatment a little bit. Like people clown on him, but
here we are. The only thing I know about this guy is that he is 25 and headed toward 26 as a 8th year college football. I don't know anything else about him. The only time I've ever said his name out loud would be like, and it's unclear Cam Rising's going to play tonight in Thursday Night Football or whatever. He's just always never playing.
But he won't be sad when those direct deposits are hitting.
I think that's probably the right way to look. I wish him luck, and I wish him good health. Be back with GP's Carryout.
Come pigeon with us, Roser. Roser, right here.
You get downward dog.
Yes,
okay. Gonna go leg up.
I cannot.
Okay.
Leg under.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, my bad. I thought that's what you were doing.
You go back.
Yeah, but then you sit. Oh, you're flexible.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Is Ja Morant this player in the NBA with the most approved going into this season?
Ja Morant is one of the best players in the world. He's one of the best players in the world.
On the court, there is no question, barring injury, that what Ja Morant is.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizz Beat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board. a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item, whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
We got to talk about the best wrestling that we watched all week. You're up.
I think Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman put on a 5-star match in 60 seconds. I've never seen it happen before. Bronson Reed chunks a fan at Braun. I'm like, where the hell did that dude come from?
I got a tweet saying it's a good thing they're not in Memphis, or else that would have been one of the Memphis wrestling guys getting hurled.
Exactly.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back, Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South. Let's wrap this up with GP's Carryout.
It's time for GP's Carryout. One final segment filled with stuff to take with you. It's not everything you need to know, but it's most of it. What did we learn today?
Whole bunch of stuff, but I think the most important thing is we got to calm down at football games. Before, during, and after. Like, we joked about it and laughed about it. In all seriousness, if you as a diehard football fan have actually, and like I don't mean to put labels on you, but you're a man's man. I consider you a man's man. Do you consider yourself a man's man? I don't think I'm a man's.
Sometimes.
I don't think I'm a man's man. I know I'm not. I'm not a man's man. I consider you a man's man.
Thanks, man.
Perhaps it's just the beard, but I consider
it goes a long way.
I think you could. It does. It certainly leaves an impression. You think you look like somebody who could fix stuff?
You think it just depends on what.
I don't know if you could fix stuff, but you look like somebody who could. I don't look like. Do I look like? Look at me. Do I look like somebody who can fix anything?
You. I'm not. I'm more good at like doing the yard.
Instead of more good, you could try better.
Yeah, better at doing the yard. Okay. Well, that's a man's man talk,
You're a
dude.
Man's man.
Yeah.
You're a man's man.
We got time for English.
But we've got a word for more good.
Yeah.
And it's called better.
Yeah, I'm better. I'm better at like lawn stuff.
You look like you could do some things.
Yeah.
I
dabble.
I can't do anything, and I also look like I can't do anything. You look like you could do some stuff.
I dabble.
All right. You're a man's man. Mm-hmm. If we reached a point where a man's man, now I'm back to being serious. I was being goofy for a minute. Now I'm back to being serious. When we reached a point where a man's man who loves football, who loves the Titans, who I'm certain would love nothing more to enjoy that experience with your children the same way I enjoy baseball games with mine. And yet you're saying, I won't take them until they're older because it's dangerous. That's a real problem for the NFL.
Right, I agree.
Like, I've heard people say things like, and I don't say this, but I have heard people, I've seen it on Facebook. They say, I won't take my family downtown for dinner anymore. You know, we're not going to drive downtown and go to dinner anymore because we don't feel safe. Like, at some point, it doesn't matter whether those people are being sensible or not. It doesn't matter whether there's any data to back up their concern. It doesn't matter if you could actually show them statistics that say, what are you talking about? You'll be safe. It is safe. Once they've reached the point where they feel that way, that I'm not safe going somewhere, it becomes a real problem for downtown if you own a restaurant downtown. If people from outside of downtown are saying, at night I'm not coming down, parking my car and walk into a restaurant because I don't feel safe, it doesn't matter whether it's sensible. It just matters that we've reached a point where people feel that way. And when people feel that way, it becomes an issue. this is the exact same thing.
Yeah.
If you don't feel safe going to an NFL game, if what you see on social media, one fight after another at an NFL game, we've really reached the point you can't go one weekend without seeing a pretty nasty fist fight of some sort at an NFL game. There was one, I mean, I've watched it, shooting.
Yeah.
Two guys arguing after a football game. Was that a Lions game?
I can't remember.
And a guy just, boom.
Yeah.
I think two people were left dead. Okay, so I know that I could go to any NFL game this Sunday and feel nearly certain that I'm not going to watch an altercation that leads to a man shooting another man, right? Probably won't happen.
Right.
But I saw it happen. I know it did.
Yeah.
And if people are out there reaching a point where they go, I just don't feel safe going to NFL games because I've seen people get shot at them and I see fist fights at every one.
Yeah.
And this was a random attack this weekend after the Ravens and Commanders. If people are actually people who would otherwise like to consume your product, but they say they won't because they don't feel safe, that's a real problem for the NFL.
Yeah, and it's not like when I say, I'm not saying like I wouldn't take my little kids now because I think that like someone's gonna fight us or something. That's not what I mean. I mean like I've seen videos because people get in fights in the stands and then they fall on top of other people. I've seen kids get fallen on top of by grown men. That's traumatizing for a little kid.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't want this. I don't want my kid to be around that crap.
And those two people in those Commanders jerseys, they weren't walking with children, but they could have been. I would have been.
Right.
I would
and
have.
That dude was just making a beeline.
Yeah, he was just looking for people in Washington gear, and he was going to fight them. That's all he was looking for.
Right.
Right. That I wouldn't. If I were leaving a Mets game, odds are I wouldn't be walking with my buddy. I bet those two guys were buddies. I would be walking with my children, with my wife. What if my children watch some giant man just attack me? That's traumatizing.
Right.
Watching your dad get beat up.
Yeah.
I imagine that's a pretty traumatizing thing. It's just crazy out there.
Yeah, man.
It's wild out in the streets.
It's wild out there in these NFL streets, I guess.
It's wild in the NFL streets.
What's today's biggest game?
Game 2, ALCS. We're going to do it back at Yankee Stadium, 6:38, first pitch, TBS, True TV, on the Max app. A lot of different places you can watch it. Bennett, I don't think you're going to be locked out of this one. I think you're going to have access to this if you want it.
I believe I have it, yes.
Cleveland Guardians, New York Yankees. Garrett Cole on the mound for the Yanks. That's why they're big favorites tonight. Minus 180 on the money line. You can get the Guardians at plus 150. How you going to act? Must be nice to win game 1 and then have Garrett Cole going in game 2.
Yeah, I don't trust Garrett Cole.
I don't trust him either.
I don't trust him.
I've seen Garrett Cole give up 4 runs in the first too many times for me to trust him.
I think
Garrett Cole, here's what Garrett Cole is for me.
Yeah.
He is undeniably one of the greatest pitchers in the world who I've just seen have too many bad outings.
Me too.
It's a little bit like...
It's like playoff Kershaw.
It's just, I know he's great. It's just, with my own eyes, I see him not be great sometimes.
Yeah.
I struggle. I feel the same way about John Rahm. I don't even know if it makes sense. I know John Rahm is like maybe the greatest golfer in the world. Okay. I just watch him mess up all the time. And I'm always like, how can that be the greatest golfer in the world if he messes up all the time? And then I know, then he just goes out and wins majors and makes $1 billion. But because I see him mess up so often with my own eyeballs, I can't trust him like other people trust him. Garrett Cole is John Rahm, as far as I'm concerned, and I know that doesn't make sense to most anybody.
And for that reason, I'm going to take the Guardians.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Guardians. I something's making me feel not good about the Yankees tonight.
I wonder if I think I am in the minority of Mets fans because I root for the Yankees. I wanted the Yankees to win last night. I want the Yankees to advance. I don't want to beat the Guardians in the World Series. Who cares about beating the Guardians? Right. How am I supposed to get excited about beating the Guardians?
I'm with you.
I want to eliminate Shohei Ohtani and the Dodgers and then eliminate Aaron Judge and the Yankees.
Yeah.
I want to do it big. I don't want
I get it.
I don't want no little Guardians World Series. Give me a Yankees World Series. So I'm the Mets fan actually rooting for the Yankees.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope I'm wrong. Well, I don't for my record's sake. But yeah, I'm going to go Guardians.
Bennett said go Guardians tonight. You can get them at plus 150.
What are we watching on TV?
Season 3 of The Lincoln Lawyer has dropped on Netflix. Are you a consumer of The Lincoln Lawyer?
Wasn't there a movie with Matthew McConaughey once upon a time?
I can't speak to that.
I think there was.
I mean, I do know that Matthew McConaughey was in a movie once upon a time. I know that much.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with this series.
It's in season 3. It's got good reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. It's an American legal drama television series created for television by David E. Kelly and developed by Ted Humphrey. It's based on the books by Michael Conley. Oh, I'm surprised you ain't read the books. I know how much you love to tell me when you've read the books.
No, I haven't. My mom reads Michael Conley, I believe. But no, I'm unfamiliar. But there was a movie with Matthew McConaughey, 2011, The Lincoln Lawyer. So it must have been based on the book as well.
So the books must be amazing. They got a movie.
Must be great.
They got a movie with Matthew McConaughey. Now they got a Netflix series that's in season 3.
Yeah.
We should maybe just read the book.
Maybe so.
We could get in a book. You want to start a book club?
Start a book club?
I wouldn't mind starting a book club. Do you not have time for a book club?
No, dude. I'm going to see movies at 10 o'clock at night. I ain't got time to read anything.
Point taken.
Yeah.
Point taken.
What are we watching?
Oh wait, that is what we're watching on TV.
Yeah, The Lincoln Lawyer,
Best
Bennett.
thing we've read.
Season 3 of The Lincoln Lawyer.
Okay.
How many times do I have to tell
Damn
you?
it.
Over at CBSSports.com, Sam Quinn, who covers the NBA, has his tanking rankings as we get ready to enter the NBA regular season. We're already there. It's tanking for Cooper Flagg.
Yeah.
Who wants to have Cooper Flagg?
I bet the Brooklyn Nets would like him.
They are number 2 in Sam Quinn's tanking rankings. Who do you think is number 1?
Toronto?
Toronto is not even listed. He only listed 8 teams, with number 8 being the Clippers.
I'm not sure. Who am I missing here?
The Brooklyn Nets.
That's what I said. I said the Brooklyn Nets.
I thought you said Toronto.
No, I said Nets first.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I said the Nets
That's
first.
on me then.
Yeah.
Wizards were number 1. Brooklyn
Wizards were number 1. Okay.
Wizards were number 1.
That makes
Brooklyn
sense.
Nets are number 2. I'm sorry. Number 3, Portland Trailblazers. Number 4, the Detroit Pistons. Number 5, the Chicago Bulls. Number 6, the Utah Jazz. 7, the Charlotte Hornets. And at 8, the LA Clippers. That's who Sam Quinn thinks should be tanking in that order in an attempt to grab Cooper Flagg, the 17-year-old phenom who will be the star of the Duke Blue Devils this season. You can read Sam's work, CBSSports.com. It's on the homepage right now.
What's on tap for tomorrow?
Well, tomorrow is Wednesday.
Yep.
So we'll look back on the Hoops for St. Jude Classic. Hopefully we'll be talking about some encouraging performances we see from the Memphis men and the Memphis women.
I'm excited to see them for the first time.
Let me ask you a question.
Yep.
I should just Google this because I've been wondering this for a while, and I should just... When I was in school, you had the Memphis Tigers and the Memphis Lady Tigers. Are we done with lady everything now? If you notice, I don't ever call them the Lady Tigers, even though that's what they were.
I think we're done with lady.
They're the Memphis men and the Memphis women. We're done with
I think we're done with lady.
Lady Vol. That was a Lady
That was
Vols
a thing. That was like a thing. That was on their jerseys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are we done with that too?
I don't know about that one. I'm not positive on that one because that one was like a real nickname because they had it on their jerseys.
I'll have to look into this a
Yeah,
little
look
further.
into it. Let me know.
We'll have to look into this a little further. Hopefully, I know I'm safe saying it this way. Hopefully, we're sitting here tomorrow talking about some encouraging performances from some of the Memphis men and also some of the Memphis women.
What's on tap for tomorrow?
Oh, that is what's up. Why do I keep pressing the buttons?
You are tired.
I am, dude.
Hey, listen, put your hands in your pockets.
Why do I keep pressing the
Put your
buttons? I
hands-
don't know why.
Put your hands in the
I
pockets.
just get excited.
You just let me handle it from here.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's going on?
You go ahead and you can leave now. All right.
All right.
I'll take it from here.
I'm scared. I got to go do Vernon's show now.
Oh my
I'm scared.
God.
That board's bigger than this one.
You ain't got a shot over there.
Yeah.
You ain't got a shot.
Crap.
Just let me handle it from here. So we'll be looking back on the Hoops for St. Jude Tip-Off Classic. Mike Wallace scheduled to join me in the second segment. Should be fun. I'm looking forward to it already. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to enjoy mine. We'll meet back here tomorrow at 10. Till then, be careful, be kind, be good. Rep your hood.